Excuse me. Okay, we're now going to have a little look at how we prepare the zipper for the top of our pouch. Now, I'm using continuous zipper. However, if you haven't got continuous zipper or don't want to use continuous zipper, you will need a 12-inch zipper ideally for this, because you're going to be cutting it down. Now, I like to press my zippers before I do anything to them, because I find that it's less likely, if you press the zipper tape, that you're going to get a bumpy zipper. The bumpy zippers are quite common when you first start bag making, and I think there's lots of different reasons why it happens, but I think not pressing your zipper is one of them. So this is continuous zipper, and this is a number 5 zipper. Now, you often see in bag patterns, and I'm sorry if I'm preaching to those that already know this, you often see in bag patterns where it has like a little hashtag, and it'll say #5 or #3, and you think, what on earth does that mean? Because most of us have got these sort of zippers sitting in our drawers for whatever our previous sewing experience is. We've all bought a zipper. I bought zippers years ago when I'd never sewn anything, and it was years before I got the courage to actually even sew in a zipper. But number 3 and number 5 zippers, what's that all about? Well, there is a difference. Now, the most obvious difference is the size. And you can see that this one that's in front, which is the number 3, is considerably narrower than the one behind. A number 3 zipper, and these are just standard nylon zippers, from one side of the tape to the other side of the tape is usually 1 inch wide. There are a few exceptions. I've had some zippers that are narrower and some that are fractionally wider, but as a general rule of thumb, they are 1 inch from one side to the other. The nylon teeth in the middle are approximately 3 millimeters from one side to the other. And that is a number 3 zipper. And they're most commonly used in bag making inside of a bag. Sometimes on the top, if it's a small bag or a pouch or something like that, sometimes you can use a number 3. They're just generally not quite as sturdy. They're not as hard wearing. So they work for an interior pocket, but they're not so great for an exterior. Number 5, the zipper tape itself is generally 1¼ inches wide, and the teeth are 5 millimeters wide. So you can see, just even if I just hold those two up next door to each other, you can see there's a huge difference size-wise. You also find that the zipper pulls for a number 5 are generally bigger. This one looks like it's metal. It's not. It's plastic, just the same as on nylon, just the same as this one. It just happens to have sort of metallic coloured teeth on it. So that's the difference between a number 3 and a number 5 zipper. Number 5 zippers are generally used on the top of a bag or outside pockets. Not always, but most times on outside pockets, just because they're more sturdy. And you can buy your zippers like this, where they've got stoppers at each end. So this one is, and that's probably about 8 inches by the look of it. Yeah, so an 8-inch zipper, and you can see it has a metal stop on one end, and then if I just move the zipper pull, it's got little metal stoppers on this end. So the usable space between those two metal stoppers is 8 inches. The actual zipper itself is longer than that, because you've got these extra bits on the ends. This is continuous zipper tape, and it comes on a roll. You sometimes hear it called zipper on a roll, and it comes rolled up usually by the meter, or 5 meters or 10 meters, whichever you prefer. For me, this is a much more economical option. However, you do have to put the pulls on yourself. Some suppliers send your coil of zipper tape with all the pulls pushed onto them, but most don't. You buy your zipper pulls separately. Now, the one piece of advice, I'm not going to tell you where to buy your zippers from, because you can get them from all over the place, and they come at different prices, and to be fair, different qualities. What I will say though is that when you buy if you're going to buy continuous zipper on a roll, try and buy your pulls from the same place as you buy your zipper tape, because it's a common misconception that if you buy a size 5 zipper you can buy a size 5 pull and it will fit. This is not necessarily the case. So I tend to buy my pulls at the same place as I buy my zippers, because then I know they're going to fit, and I store them together so that I know that they're, because I buy zippers from all over the place, it rather depends if I see something there's a colour that I like, or something I haven't seen before, or something specific. But this one has a gunmetal finish to it, but these are nylon teeth, not metal. So that's a quickie about zippers. We are using a number 5 zipper for this, and ideally you need, if you're going to use one that's a fixed length, then a 10-inch will be, I think actually 12 inches probably. 10-inch you could get away with, but I think a 12-inch would be better. If you're going to use a piece of continuous zipper tape, then I think I've cut 11 inches here. Yes, I have. 11 inches will be fine, because actually 12 inches is too long, but 10 inches is a bit tight. So we're going to start with our zipper tab. Now this is my zipper tab. It's 1 1/4 inches by 2, and I'm going to grab my iron. I'm just going to give it a press. Now I haven't interfaced this, and I'm going to fold it in half so that the 2 short ends are together and it's wrong sides together, and press it. Get more pressing, yay! And then, as we did with those decorative pieces on the front, we're going to fold both of those short ends into that central fold and press that again. No children here today, so we won't hopefully be disturbed by anybody wanting sweeties or their phone charged or anything else. It's only my husband, and if he wants sweeties, he can get his own. So there we have, I folded my initial panel in half to create that centre fold. Then I've opened that up and taken both of those short raw edges into the centre, pressed it, and then folded it in half. And what I end up with is a little panel that is a 1/2 inch high by 1 1/4 inches wide. I'm going to take my zipper. Now if you're using a zipper that's got the metal stoppers on the end, just cut your zipper just so that those metal stoppers come off. And you're going to place your zipper tab over the closed end of your zipper, so not the end that opens up, but the other end. So let me just pop that in there, and you can see the zipper fits right into that fold nicely. And clip it in place. Now if you don't feel confident that this will stay in place, you can actually just pop a little drop of glue inside, a little drop of Fabri-Tac, if that makes you feel more comfortable. That's absolutely fine, but you don't need much, and you want to make sure that you leave it to dry before you start sewing. So what we're going to do is we are going to stitch down here, so close to the fold, to make sure that our zipper tab is attached. So I'm just going to, whoops, daisy. Turn my machine on, that's helpful. Just get my thread from the bottom there. And you should be able to stitch over the top of a nylon zipper without any bother. Don't go too quickly, but the teeth of your machine should just slot between the teeth on the zipper. If, however, you're choosing to use a metal zipper, do be very, very careful. Metal zippers are a completely different kettle of fish. So excuse me. So I've now stitched, you can see it's quite close to that fold, and now I'm going to stitch on the other side of my zipper tab. Just, it's purely decorative, this second lot stitching. It's just to make it look pretty. few little threads there. I'm going to get rid of mine. Right, now we're going to prepare the other end of our zipper. Now, if you've never made a bag before, this will seem quite bizarre, but stick with me and you'll understand, I hope, how it goes. So I'm going to turn my zipper so that it's right side down, so the pull is underneath, and I'm going to measure it. And at a point that is 9 1/4 inches from the very end of my zipper tab, I'm going to make a mark on the zipper tape itself, assuming I can even see it. And you can do this with a Fixon pen or a chalk marker, or whatever's your chosen. If I just undo that zipper, you can see I've just made a line, and it's on the wrong side, so the back side of the zipper. So that's the underside of the zipper pull. And I've made a mark on both sides that is 9 1/4 inches from this edge to this mark. I'm just going to undo my zipper a little because I don't need that done up at this point. Now we're going to use a little bit of fabric glue, and we're just going to put a little tiny spot of glue just below where we made that fold, that mark, and I'm just going to fold over the zipper to the wrong side where that mark is and pop a clip in. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side and fold where we made that mark and pop a clip in. Now, in a perfect world, you'd go and perhaps have a cup of tea and a biscuit, make a phone call to grandma, mum, son, husband, whoever you want to make a phone call to, and come back after about 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm just going to redo that because that's not stuck down properly. However, I don't think I really want to go and make a phone call to anybody, so I'm going to carry on with this even though it's not properly dry. You will find you get better results if you wait till your glue is dry. So for the next stage, I'm going to take a little more glue, and I've still got my zipper so that the zipper pull is facing downwards towards my table. I'm going to take off the clip. I'm going to pop a little drop more glue. I would if it would come to the top of the bottle or the bottom of the bottle. Why does glue always take such a long time to come out? Little tiny drop of glue, just right on the end where that sort of fold is. Just, I'm going to hold the end of the zipper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the zipper teeth out, which gives me, on the front of my zipper, will give me a cracking 90 degree, and you'll find that the fold that you made sits right up against the zipper teeth. So let me show you that again on the other side, because I'm not sure that that's the most clear bit of videoing. So I'm going to try and do this holding it up so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm going to try and do it back to front. So this is the side where the fold is. Good heavens, this is not easy to do back to front, upside down. And the glue needs to come down again. Come on, glue. So I popped a little drop of glue on there, and I'm just going to pull that piece that's sort of hanging off the back there that we folded over up so that the teeth are showing along the top edge, and the fold that we made, you can see that little fold is there, is butted right up against those teeth, so you don't get any kind of strange marks on it. clip it in place. On the back, you've got a perfect 45-degree angle. You can see that works really well. So that's your zipper prepared. I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to come back to you in a second, and we're going to have a little look at the options for how we add additional stabilizer to our pouch. Now, we've used interfacing on our front part. I've cut my back piece and I've put interfacing on that. But we're going to look at additional stabilizers. So there are two different sorts of two different things that will be mentioned in bag patterns: interfacing and stabilizer. Interfacing gives your fabric, the fabric that you're making your bag from, whether that's the exterior fabric or the interior fabric, gives it a little bit more structure, stops any stretch that it might have, gives it longevity, it makes it stronger and thicker and slightly more durable. The stabilizers are the things that go within the bag that give your bag or your pouch structure. So it's what stops something from being, if you hold onto the handles and you let go and it's got no stabilizer in it, it will collapse and be flat. Whereas if you've got stabilizer, your bag will stay as a 3D shape. Quite hard to explain actually without something in front of me that I can actually show you, and I haven't actually thought to pick something up to show you. So you'll have to just trust me with this one. So I'll come back with the video and show you that in a minute.